edition into the Invest Podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Johnny Invest. Make sure you smack that subscribe button. Subscribe to Invest Universal. You'll be notified every time we drop dope, banging content. And I got a special guest up in here, man. Busy guy, busy man. He got me up in the studio on a weekday. Usually I'm on the weekends, but he said he was available on a weekday. I made it happen for my guy. I was looking over his media kit, and I got guests that have a lot of accomplishments, and they've done quite a bit of things, but normally I could list them off. His, I couldn't, and I'm not going to be able to list off everything. So I'm going to start at the top with this guest, and I'm going to say this man was nominated for the Best Spoken Word Performance Black Music Awards. He appeared at the world-famous Showtime at the Apollo. Showtime at the Apollo with 7? Ooh, okay. That's history right there, man. Let's see here. Best Spoken Word Performer of the Year, Sounds of Soul Music Awards. 2007, Best Poet Sat Cultural Hub Choice Awards. He is an unsung hero, helping people awards. I mean, it's award. But one of the ones that really sat there and it really stuck out to me was he was a 3 times Father of the Year recipient and a 1-time Super Parent Award recipient. Impactful. I want to welcome the inspirational, the poet, Terry Moore to the Invest Podcast. Terry, my brother, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, and I just want to thank you for having me.
Man, brother, thank you for making the time to come on over to the studio and kick it with Johnny Invest on the Invest Podcast. Man, I always start my podcast off by having my guests run it. And just tell us a little bit about yourself, Terry, and tell us a little bit about where you're from.
Well, I'm from Sacramento.
Good, okay. 916, cool.
Bred, 916.
Okay, where you go to school?
I went to Gady.
Okay.
It's got a different name now.
Yeah.
And then I went to Burbank.
Okay, yeah, Burbank.
Yeah, Burbank.
Okay. Swan Road, okay.
And then I went to the Navy.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to the Navy and did 4 years there, and 4 years active, a few years reserve, and now I came back to Sacramento, and I've been here ever since.
Nice. Both 916 boys. So, I see that you've really been big into doing like poetry and performing and things of that nature. I want to say, what really got you into that? Because what got you into poetry, what got you into performing? I mean, you've done a lot of things with it. I mean, there's a lot of people that write poetry, but they never quite get to where they're performing with. I didn't even mention the man's been on stage like Kirk Franklin and the Temptations and Earth, Wind, and Fire. I mean, I didn't do this man no justice, man, with that intro. I mean, it was just so much. I mean, how did the roots start with that? How'd you get going with poetry?
Well, always a writer? No, it was kind of an accident. So
okay.
So I went into the military.
Okay.
And I was writing. I would write the ladies, to be honest.
Right.
And then I started because I was out at sea for 6 months.
Okay.
Actually, my first cruise was 8 months.
Okay.
And I was just bored, so I started, writing rap songs, writing songs, and writing poems, and just entertaining myself. And people, they loved them back home.
It's natural.
So I came home, got a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. We were in a little, exciting conversation. I'll call it that.
Yeah. Okay.
Exciting conversation. And I couldn't keep up.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting to go play ball. I'm waiting for her to, speak her piece. And, and I said, you know what? If I respond, it's going to take longer. My boys is waiting on me at the gym. So I wrote it, and I wrote it in a form of a poem.
You wrote what you
I wrote my
say
rebuttal, right. I wrote my
rebuttal. In a poem?
In a poem. And then I handed it to her, and I jetted to the gym.
Wow.
She was heated when I left. When I came back, she had showed it to her friends. They wanted a copy, and she was like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "What?" I did this to kind of shade you,
Yeah.
And she loved it. She goes, "Do you know this is really creative?" And I'm like, "Well, I just did it to do it,
Right.
And then somebody showed it to a store. The store called me and wanted me to do more poems. And then a guy came out of nowhere, and he's like, "Give me all your poems." So I gave him my worst ones. I'm like, I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
And he comes back and he made me a book. So it's like other people are responsible for recognizing the poetry,
right?
Which was my ex-girlfriend. She recognized it.
Yeah.
Then her friends enhanced it, enhanced the celebration of it.
Yeah.
And then a store trusted in it and made me believe in it. And the book sold, the poem sold. Next thing I know, I'm in front of Iyanla Vanzant.
I mean, was
And
this all,
997 people.
Jesus, was this all like so kind of surreal? Did it happen kind of like it happened kind of fast? It was like kind of one thing after another. Like, okay, I guess I got my point across with the lady. I mean, even more than what I thought I would. Okay,
Right.
he was probably maybe happy with that. And then it just went.
Yeah, so every step was like a shock to me.
Wow.
Like a surprise. Like anything wasn't anticipated or intentionally created.
Right.
It's just like.
You weren't
okay.
trying to be discovered. You weren't trying. Like, you got people that go out there and like, I'm going to be this musician. I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to be this world famous poet. You didn't even start out even trying to do that. It was just natural.
It's just natural. And I've been writing it, but no one ever
You
recognized
just
it.
did it pretty much for fun, just to kind of get your expressions out there.
Keep me occupied while I was on the aircraft carrier.
Right.
But people, you do anything, they would say, "Oh, this is great," but I didn't.
Of course, yeah, everyone's gonna tell you that.
It wasn't until she really like, "Oh, this is great." She wasn't mad no more. I said, "This must have an impact.
It must be cool.
It must be cool."
Man, that's it. You was having an argument with the girl.
Oh yeah.
And she thought enough of it in that that heated moment. We hot, we mad, we're not thinking
Right.
straight. So in that heated moment, to understand and recognize that you had talent,
Right.
even in the heat of the moment.
In the heat of the moment.
That's deep. That's how you.
And then her friends are on the phone. They're like, "Oh man, can we have a copy of this?" And it just blew up. So every step.
I mean, what were some of the words in there? I mean, what was said? I mean, maybe I should try. I should take up poetry and solve some of my problems, man. I mean, what got them, man? I've never heard of this being used to, to give you a rebuttal.
What I was, she was kind of breaking me down, and I wrote the poem. The poem kind of says, it's hard enough being a man in society. And externally, I have enough challenge. So
Right.
internally, I need your understanding and your patience and your love. And it says, if you don't support me, if you don't understand me, and I didn't live with her, but in the home,
Yeah.
then who will?
Who was?
Because there's no one in society to love me like that, to understand me, to guide me, to nurture me, to be patient. But you're what I have.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, then who will? So I need you to do that. Because you're my support base, you're my foundation, you're my source.
That's deep.
And I just wrote that. I didn't want to say it and prolong the conversation.
Yeah.
So keep in mind now, I'm exhausted. I done ran
Yeah.
basketball, trying to stay gone for.
Yeah.
I'm laying on the couch. Like
Trying to say,
right now,
coming in
like,
quiet, just trying to be a little kid.
I've
been
like,
there.
"You better copy." I'm like, "A copy of what?"
Yeah.
And then the store called for. It just went one thing to the next, and then that led to opening for Maya Angelou. And then that led to people asking me to come perform the poetry, which I never had intention to do.
Okay.
I mean, I never did.
Yeah.
So my second time performing, it was in front of Iyanla Vanzant, in front of 997 people.
So from 900 people to, that was your first time?
That was my second time.
Jesus. I mean, your first time was maybe 20 people?
It was 20 people at the touch of class.
I mean,
so I go from the touch of class to Sac City College.
That was my mother's original old spot, touching class on Stockton Boulevard. Yeah, I know it well.
And I didn't even know who Iyanla Vanzant was, so I'm thinking it's going to be 20 people.
Yeah, 20 person
And
show.
that led to Maya Angelou, and then that led to, I'm at, I can't remember where it was, maybe Cheers or something.
Yeah.
From the West walks in.
Yeah.
And then, that led to me, backstage with Norman Brown, and he's like, "I'm gonna come out and check out your poetry."
I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. Like, I'm sorry, because if I go from performing in front of 20 people, which I can do, I can talk in front of 20 people, and the next time, Johnny, you're gonna speak in front of 900. I mean, the level up was like, it wasn't like 20 to 150.
Right.
It was 900.
But see, the good thing is I didn't know.
Okay,
that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time
to get scared. You had no time to think about it.
I came out on stage from backstage, and it was like.
And you didn't know how many people was gonna be there. They didn't tell
It
you.
was gonna be like, I didn't know who she was, so I thought it was gonna be like 20 people. Like that time.
900 is quite a bit. When you expect maybe 20 or 30.
Oh yeah, and it's packed. But by that time, it's like I'm on stage.
Then when you walk out, you see you, was you like, oh? I mean, you couldn't go back.
Well, I wanted to go back.
For sure.
I decided for this. Like, I'm in the wrong space. This is wrong. I'm supposed to be somewhere else.
Right.
But I'm like, and the lady, she's doing her thing. She's like, go.
Gotta go.
And I started in the crowd. I got energy from the crowd.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna do it because they don't know me. They don't know. Just do it. I did it, and they received it well. And I said, maybe we have something here.
You can do 900 and get through it, and you can get people to actually cheer for you, like it. I mean, that right there lets you know I got something going on. Mm-hmm. And for sure, that was a little bit of a confidence booster, and then it was just kind of off to the races from there, right? Mm-hmm. Man.
And the crazy thing about it, my younger brother, he did poetry, and my mom. Her mom, my grandma, recited poetry to her every night to have her go to sleep. So it was there already.
Dang.
I just didn't want to entertain it.
Wow.
And it just came out. And all through the years, everything that happened was just a surprise. It's like, okay, I didn't try to manifest this in my life.
Yeah.
This just happened. And it's like, I'm the last one to get it because everybody else sees it or they know it. And I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I'm catching up last.
Yeah, that's
I'm trailing.
Yeah, that's
all these
different.
movements.
That's different because a lot of times it's like the person will have that, they'll believe in themselves. But I know I have this, and for whatever reason, for the doors are shut for them, nobody sees it, but they stay on, they keep staying, they get better. Then a lot of times later on, it's people, but this is like, you don't even know what you had, and others are seeing your gift. They already arrived to the race, and you're the one with the gift kind of in the back. That's the really kind of a rare story of you just doing it. People probably like, this guy doesn't even know what he has. So let me ask you, when we're doing all this, man, and you're performing, because it has to be surreal because it's different when you set out to do something. Mm-hmm. Even when you make it, it's still a big deal. But it's probably even more surreal, the fact that you didn't actually set out to actually be big doing poetry, be on stages, be at Showtime at the Apollo, opening for like big time acts. Like, how was that? Because it never was really the goal. It just kind of went to that. So just talk to me about just, that had to be just surreal, man, because you just wasn't something that was a goal of yours, but something that many people would aspire for as a goal.
Well, like one time, when Dr. Cornel West walked in, when Dr. Cornel West walked in and sat right in front of me, well, I didn't know he was coming.
Okay.
So every time I was kind of blindsided.
You never knew.
I was waiting to go on around 10 o'clock. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
They keep stalling me. So I said, I'm getting ready to leave. All of a sudden, he walks in. And they go, okay, you can go now.
Wow.
He wanted to hear you. And he sits right in front of me.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting right in front of Dr. West. But for me, to be honest, every time something happened, every time I opened for something, I was like, okay, this is like a one-time deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the best out of it. And then I got another offer. I'm like, what?
Wow. Because
one thing led to another. And then I started winning awards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is it that they like about these awards? And then it wasn't until I got about midway through my career where I had some haters.
Oh, for sure. hey, let's talk about that real quick because at first it might have been all good, but then when you get to the dance and you got other people that's there that's doing their thing too, now it's when it's really big because it's coming, at some point in time. It might have been all good, but at some point, I know every single performer from poets to R&B singers to rappers to gymnasts to bodybuilders, all got to deal with that kind of competitiveness that your competitors kind of on you, and it's a little bit of that. So explain to me how that kind of was, because you were kind of, you won multiple awards. Over 15, I think I'm trying to count them all. So at some point, talk to me about when you realize it's real, but then how do you deal with the other part, because that's kind of hard sometimes when you're on your path, you're not hurting nobody, you're just living in your purpose, just doing your thing, and doing something that you love and something that you're good at. So kind of explain to that how you're able to deal with that, because I talk to a lot of people in life that deal with that at different levels, in the professional world, the competitive world, just kind of the hater. So you being just at your level, how was that? When did you realize that, man, I got some of those haters?
Well, it shocked me. I'm like, why these people?
Yeah.
Like, I'm off to the side. All of a sudden, these people are like coming for me.
Hating on, looking at you, watching you, like, oh yeah.
I'm like, people saying stuff. I'm hearing rumors. I'm hearing gossip, and it's on social media.
Right.
And I'm like, I didn't do anything to these people.
But now you out there.
Now I'm out there. So everything that happened, the haters were louder. It's like if I had 5 haters, they were louder than 500 people. So I started listening. And they were like, oh, he only won that award because he knows the committee. Or he only won that award because he's popular. I mean, there was always a reason.
Yeah, they started trying to knock you down. Now you're getting up there. Now when you up and coming, now they're like, this dude really something. Okay.
So I started being excluded from certain mics. So then, the way I got past that, because it hurt my feelings at first.
For sure. For sure.
I said, it's on now.
Okay.
I'm
gonna kill them now. They hate me. They hate me before. They hate me now. They hate me for sure.
I'm trying to tell all these things. Me against the world. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna get even better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I really wasn't even into this.
Yeah.
But now I got to show you. Yeah. Because now I got to win another award.
Yes.
Now I got to go.
The hunger is more.
Oh yeah. So now I was determined. I used it to fire me and motivate me to get even better. To go, I said, okay, well, I'm gonna go to another city, another state, and see what they think. And the better I got, it kind of shut down the naysayers.
Yeah.
And I just figured, you can say what you can say what you want, but what you say won't land on the runway.
Yeah.
It's not valid.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna motivate me to get me going more and more. So I really got into poetry.
Fire.
Oh yeah, I really got into it. Then I finally embraced myself. And I said, I guess I am a poet. Yeah. I guess I am going to do this.
Okay.
And if I'm going to do it, I'm no longer going to do it to get the claps and the likes, social media. I'm going to do it to prove to the haters.
Be badass.
If you don't like me now,
hate me now. You fucking hate me.
And way worse. Let's go to another level, because you're going to another level. I'm going to another level.
Bigger
level. Eventually, they tried, and then eventually. They kind of, can't beat them joint. So they kind of sided with me and supported me.
What are you going to do when you realize that the guy is getting better and better and better and better, and he ain't stopping? Mm-hmm. And the haters, they kind of almost become like, because the haters, they kind of like weird, tricky, and a weird, deranged fans in a way. They kind of like it. They don't want to admit they like it. They find a reason not to like it. So you get so good at it, they ain't got nothing to be able to say. So, yeah, man, like I said, I like how you took that and used that as fire, because what I know, and a lot of different people I've talked to that have gotten big and different things in entertainment and whatever it is, they talk about the same thing. If I start kind of climbing and people start really realizing I was kind of becoming something, that's when the naysayers came out.
Oh, yeah.
At first they're real quiet because you're not really doing anything, but when they notice that you're there, you're in the building, you're in the room, that's just something you have to really be ready for.
Oh, yeah.
It's something that you're really just going to have to be prepared for. Definitely, man. So definitely, we touched on the poetry, but let's get really quick, man, onto the meat of why I really brought you in. I want to talk to you about what really got you from the military, from the poetry, what got you into the work with fathers. I know you run an organization that helps dads, give them life skills and things of that nature. Can you talk to the guests about what that's called? What was your calling, and what brought you into that? Because people I know that do any type of work in that field, they get into that because of passion, because of true purpose to really be able to help. And I think it's really impactful when I referred to you and they told me about you. I didn't know you were a poet until I got your meeting. Because, oh my God. But it was really because of the whole the parenting.
Which is more important.
Which is the most important thing. I got 2 kids. I'm trying to continue to raise, and I really wanted to pick your brain on that. And I got some dads that are going to be listening to this, and parents are going to listen to this. But what got you into that work, and what's the name of the organization, sir?
Well, the name of the organization is Center for Fathers and Families.
Okay.
And then we have an off group called the 100 Dads.
Okay.
So I got into the Center for Fathers and Families because I went through a divorce.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, one day you're in the house, and the next day you're out of the house.
You're out of the house.
And
I've been there. I've been there with you. I've been there.
Now you're kind of by yourself, and so the only thing I have left, and the thing that really means so much to me is my child.
Yeah.
So now you're trying to put that piece together. Okay, so I understand what's happening. I'm moving forward with that, and all of a sudden there's challenges there.
Oh yeah.
And my dad, he passed away pretty much right around the time that my first daughter was born.
Okay.
And matter of fact, when she was a baby, we were sitting on his bed, and he was looking at her and talking to her, and then he passed away while she was a baby.
Oh man.
So I remember all the stories he told me about. He didn't really care if I was a professional baseball player. He didn't really sow into me like that.
Okay.
But he sold into me about the importance of being a father all my life.
Okay.
And
awesome.
he was an amazing dad.
You got that.
So now,
upbringing. That's great. We
upbringing.
don't all get that.
So as soon as I had a child, you know, I was told I wasn't going to be able to be with her. I wasn't going to, you know, I wasn't going to be successful.